There we go. Okay. Can you guys hear me out there? I don't know what's going on in my headset. It's like I'm hearing my own feedback. And I don't know where it's coming from. Already liked and subscribed. That's awesome. I think I have noise canceling on in here. I think I have oh, loud and clear. Okay, I think I have noise canceling on in these headphones, so it's like, you know, doing what noise canceling does. All right. What is, oh, and then that's kind of weird too. Okay, so you guys can hear me loud and clear. Yay! Yay! And okay, loud and clear. Okay, that's what I hear. Okay, so I have thank you. I have successfully set up the live stream. Welcome. Okay. So I have like I want I want my camera to be flipped because my head is hiding under the chat thingy. All right, yes, keep posting your questions. How do I turn it completely off? I think I have a how about oh, there. Oh, okay, that's so much better. Okay. You are welcome in advance. Okay, so it sounds crazy to me, guys. It sounds really crazy to me, but I just got to get used to it. All right. What's going on? Hi, I am MoniqueEmpath. I am your resident psychic medium for the day. I am going to move this thing. Maybe if I put it here. Oh, no. Oh, no. Maybe if I put this old one. Don't like that. All right, I'm just going to have to move over. Ugh. I just kind of wanted to show off my background. Now, look, now I'm covering it up. Now, look, there's nothing fun there. Okay, so I know I can put it in the ticker. All right, I am MoniqueEmpath. I am your psychic medium for today, and we are going to talk about the wildest things that I've been asked in psychic readings. Actually, some of them are wild. Some of them are not like so wild. They're just kind of a complicated thing that I've been at, complicated things or things that people do that I said in the intro of this that drive me cray. It's not so much that they drive me totally crazy. It's just things that are like make my job difficult or make my job confusing, or people think I'm more powerful than I actually am. So those are the things that what we're talking about. All right, so yeah, keep posting your questions in the chat, and I am going to try to star them. And we will ask your questions. And I mean, if you post your question once, don't post it twice because it's just going to junk up the chat, and I'll probably my production manager says I'll probably delete it, which is true. I will probably delete it. Okay. All right. So who's here? We had quite a few. I don't know what's going on, but we had quite a few. So stay, enjoy. All right. So let's see. Yeah, post your questions in the chat box. And there you go. Post your questions in the chat box and we'll answer them. Keep posting. If you post your questions now, it acts as like a placeholder, so I'll be able to read it when I get there. Don't wait for me to like call on you or anything because just don't do that. Just post it. Just post it. Post it right away. All right. So yes, I am a psychic medium. I always pause when I even describe myself as a psychic medium because I don't know, I just still, after all these years, I still think it's a weird term. I'm just somebody who has a high intuition, and I like to use my intuition to solve things, and I just see life that way in a more intuitive sense. And that's what I do. So I do that for myself and I provide that for other people. I should have the pop filter on because I am going to spit. All right. So yeah, I think that's what we are doing. Oh yeah, and just a heads up. So a disclaimer, asking your questions. I like specific questions. I feel like general questions give a general answer. I mean, you're asking, what does my future look like? Think about how old you are today and think about all the days of life that you lived. So think about all the moments that you had, and then you're asking me what's in your future. Do you know how many bajillion, gajillion, casillion things are in your future? So that's why I like more specific questions. I feel like, psychic readings, this is a job for us, right? So we offer our services for a charge. So anytime a psychic reader says, hey, I'm willing to offer my services for free for entertainment, then this is the best time to ask more specific things. Am I going to get that car? Am I going to get that job? Is this relationship going to work out? Am I going to get fired? Am I going to get that house? When do you see? What does my person think of me? What does my mom think of me? What does my sister think of me? This is the time, right? To ask all those questions. Any kind of future, oh, what does my future look like? Or all these things, leave it to the horoscopes. Leave it to your daily news. Do we still get a newspaper? I still get a newspaper. I don't know. Do you guys still get a newspaper tossed to your house? I literally still get a car. It's not a kid on a bike, although that would be epic. But I still get a car that rides down the road and the woman chucks out a paper onto my driveway, and it is the weekly paper of my town with all those things, and I'm pretty sure horoscopes are in there. So if you want a horoscope reading, ask that. But if you want a more specific reading, ask specific readings. Also, don't put your birthday. Don't put your birthday. Don't put your age. Professionally, when I do paid readings, I only read people who are over the age or over 18, because in my world, 18 is a legal adult. But here on live, I can't tell. Here on live, we can't confirm your age, and I don't want to because I don't want people on here telling their business, telling their age or whatnot, right? So don't post your age. We're going to assume that you're an adult, and I'm going to always read these questions in the sense of it could be a child reading it. So I'm going to be as detailed and as clear and descriptive as I can for these readings, but this is a public platform. And although I am not, what would you say? I am not all that popular. Trying to get there, trying to get there. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors. I'm not that popular. So it's not like the whole world is seeing this, but the capability of the world can see this. So we have to remember we're on a public platform, and I'm about to read your business. So I will always try to read it in a way that can still be a little bit like, what's the word? Like, protective of your identity. Um I don't read spirit guides. I don't ask me what your spirit guide says. Ask your spirit guide what your spirit guide is saying to you. If you have a spirit guide, and it communicates with you, you got to work on that relationship. You got to work on that relationship. If you have a spirit guide that guides you, and half the time you don't know what the heck it's saying, I think you do. You do need some spirit guide counseling, some spirit guide therapy. I don't know. You need some spirit guide language. You have to work on that relationship because that's your spirit guide communicating to you. So don't be asking me what your spirit guide is saying to you, because then why have the spirit guide? Why have the spirit guide then? If you're asking me, I'm reading about someone who's passed on. I feel like I have all these rules, and then I go, there's no rules here. And then I give all these rules. We're not consistent. Um, I don't know if you guys get that joke, but that was a joke from the Lego movie with Unikitty. Yeah, we have no rules here. Ask what you want, and then I list all these rules. Um, oh yeah, we're never going to stay here. Okay, but the other rule, well, it's these are rules. Some of them are rules, like the no age thing. Um, that kind of thing. That's a rule, but these are more things that I'm trying to help you get the best of this opportunity. So if you're asking a question about someone who's passed on, think of it as if that person who's passed on just sat down in front of you, and what things of importance or impactful things could you ask of them? If they're okay, are you okay? Is my loved one on the other side okay? Yes, they're okay. They're not living here, they're okay. They're okay. They didn't go somewhere to suffer. Well, I mean, there are some religious people who believe that, but I'll tell you they're not somewhere else suffering. When people passed on, it's not like they become extra more powerful or smart or capable or anything that they used to be. It's just the exact same person. They just don't have a body. There are some nuances is that if you have the capacity to see a greater perspective of things because your physical body is limited, you might have some extra knowledge. So that's why it is good to ask your loved ones things about your life that you want answers to. Um, but don't always expect that Uncle Joe, who passed away, who just, didn't do much in his life, is now the guru of all gurus, and he understands the meaning of your life, but he might have a greater perspective. And no questions that infringe on the boundaries of another individual. Like if you haven't talked to somebody in so long, or if somebody has blocked you, and they're literally saying whether they mean it or not, because it's true, people do things, but they mean something else. But the point is, we have to take things at face value when it comes to boundaries. You have to take it how it looks. I could say, I know that person blocked me, but I also intuitively feel that they still want to talk to me. We're still not going to intrude on that boundary. So we're not going to use a psychic reading to stalk another individual. All right, I'm gonna play my intro. It took me so long because I was recording a little ad spot, not my intro, but and I didn't set anything up. But we are going to play the intro, and then we're gonna talk about all the things that drive all the things that drive me nuts, or the weirdest things. And some of them I don't know because I'm just coming up with these. I haven't written a list, but I know what they are.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small.
All right, okay. Am I back? Am I back? Oh, there I am. Okay. All right. So, whew. All right, things that people do in psychic readings that annoy me. Okay, this is in no order. This is not in the order of like worst to least, the least, the best, the less annoyance. This is all random order, just things that I'm thinking of. One of the things that people do that annoy the heck out of me. I set up my chair to lean back because I'm always so like intense and erect. Correct. When I'm here, and then I didn't lean back. Like I didn't, and I could. I don't know why. There we go. Okay. But now I feel weird. Okay. So, one of the things that people do that annoy me, and this might sound a little bit egotistical. I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. But when people come in to test me, you just come in to test me. Now, I guess that's why I'm saying, I mean, like, obviously, somebody might wanna if you're trying something, you might wanna test somebody, but I feel like when they only come in to do that, that's annoying, and let me explain. Let me hold on, give me a moment. Okay, so I say I'm a psychic medium, right? You go, "Are you? You don't really know, right? Like, you don't know. I just because I say it doesn't really know. So, how would you know, right? So I'm not negating the idea that you would want somebody to, show their skills or show what they're doing, especially if you're gonna pay for it, right? So, I don't mind that, and I don't mind that, but it's when people come in and they're like they either lie about something or they make something up to then I guess it's not that when somebody tests me, that's not the problem, but when they try to catch me into a lie or, like, catch me into something or be like, "Ha, you're faking," like, that annoys the hell out of me. It annoys me in is because it's kind of like, what are you trying to prove? Like, if I was said I was a reader and I was terrible at it or whatever, then that would be the story, that I'm just terrible at it, and then you would come in and say you're trying to catch me and you find out I'm terrible at it. I'm just terrible at it. I think it kinda comes where people think that I'm gonna be hurt or my life is ruined if I didn't read something accurately or if I had a bad reading, they feel like it's gonna hurt me. Like, but I not for me, it doesn't. I do what I do. I see what I see. I see what I see. So I articulate what I see. I'm not attached to whether it's gonna come true or not come true or whatever. I see what I see. I keep myself employed because other people um, then come and say, "Oh, that made sense," or "I like that," or whatever, like, you know what I mean? So, my value is more not on me, it's more on the experience. So, somebody comes in to, like, test me and catch me in something, they're like, "Ha, you're a bad reader." It's not gonna make me go, "Oh my god, I feel so sad." And it's not gonna make me go have to prove it to them. I'm gonna be like, "Okay." I mean, so I think that's why it annoys me because, I think that's why it annoys me because it's kind of like, even if you prove that I was a bad reader, what are we doing here? Again, the people who come in just to do that. So they're not really right. And so my my mini producer in the back is saying, I mean, you're paying money for it. So monetarily in the business side of me, um, my intention is that well, a person comes in for something and then I'm trying to give them what they came for. I guess you would say like I want to make them feel fulfilled of their situation. So if they're coming in just to test my guts, test test my magic, and they paid for that. So they paid for that experience. So if their intention is to catch me in something or find out that I don't know that it's not right, I think they've gotten a successful experience. You came in to catch me in something and you did and you paid for that. That's what it is. So that always annoys me. Um, I don't get that quite often, actually. I don't get that a lot. Like, more people are not gonna pay more people are not gonna pay for, something just to test it, it's like you're reading. They're not gonna pay the $100 or the $50 or the $15 to come and test me for that. So I don't really get that, but I do every now and then. I can't even say I don't know. I mean, I could take time and look into the person, but usually I don't. So I don't really understand why, like, I don't know the mentality of the person who wants to do that other than that. They wanna prove something for themselves. Um and it yeah, it affects me no different. Okay, so that's another thing. What else would bother me quite, a lot? There are so many things, but then thinking about it now, I'm like, because I mean, they bother me. but again, it doesn't really drive me crazy. I just put that in the title just to make it seem more intense. Um, oh, here's one. Okay. So I'm a psychic reader. I try to, on my website at least, and I'm trying to get better with my social media. Whatever. I'm a person. I have social media to do what most people have social media. Using social media as a business tool, it still eludes me at times. Sometimes I use it as a business tool because that's what I want to do. I want to promote something, but that's what I would do if I cooked a cool dinner. I would post it to say, "Oh, I cooked a dinner." So that's how I feel about my career. My career is like anything I post on my business social media is because I'm interested in it and want to share. I keep forgetting that there's a whole marketing play and all that kind of stuff. So, but anyways, all that to say is that I try to um explain myself and my services and what I do and don't do. Here's a fan. But it's loud, so I'm probably not gonna put it on. I try to explain myself and the type of services and what I do or what to expect as best as I could. I think I should do an FAQ on my website, but a lot of people find me on social media and then they go to my website, but they don't. I don't know. Are y'all reading my website? I don't know. I find that people really just want the reading. So they go to the website and they click get a reading. They don't really, you know? Anyways, but, oh, yeah, so, yeah, I was saying I try to explain my services that well, and I I don't say things that I don't. Okay, when people come in and they say to me very spiritual stuff that I've never talked about or I don't even know. Like, when people come in and talk to me about, for example, they talk to me about the ascended masters. Um, I feel that what I feel that I'm connected to Matrodone or whatever his name, Matrodone, or one of the what are they called? Like archangels? Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, when they come in, they're like, Archangel Michael sent me this thing, and what is that mean? And I'm like, there's nowhere on my social media, my website, my anything that I ever talk about archangels. So I think again, this is not something that like I hate, but it's one of those things where I'm like, uh. It's like the assumption that I will read archangels or I know all about that just because I stated I'm a psychic medium. And then they kinda get like, "Oh, well, does she know what she's talking about?" But I mean, there's a lot of aspects to a psychic or psychic medium or intuition or spirituality or, trusting yourself, whatever you call it, self-healing, self-journey, self-help. There's a lot of aspects to it. Doesn't mean that, like, just because I'm in one aspect of it that I connect to all other aspects of it. So that's always frustrating. They're like, um, the archangel came in and said this, Monique, what does it mean? I'm like, I don't, what, like, that's how I feel. And again, that frustrates me because I'm like, I've never talked about archangels. Why? Like, we're making assumptions. And it comes in a lot of things. It's like archangels or spirit guides is a big one, or ascended masters, or like there's probably things that I can't think of because I don't talk about them or study them, but it's like when they make that assumption, they instead of asking. So that's something that always frustrates me. And again, it frustrates me in the sense of I don't think it's wrong asking about archangels or those kind of things, but I'm like, why you asking me? Like there's other I see them. There's other mediums and other things that have post on post about archangels and the different colors and the rays and the blue rays and the blue and the purple and the greens and all that kind of stuff. Why you asking me? Same with like numerology. Um, I can say numerology is another one. I like numerology. Sometimes, like, me personally, like I find interest in math. I'm a nerd. I like math. I like numbers, all those kind of things. So I like it, but I don't read numerology. If somebody were to ask me a numerology question, I have to look up in the book. I have to like go on the website and be like, oh, numerology, and they're like, can you tell me what my life number means, or like I don't know. So again, that doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. It happens every now and then. And again, if it doesn't frustrate me that they're asking, it frustrates me that they're asking me. You know? I try again, it might be I have to market myself a little bit better, but I feel like if I don't market myself in that way, that should give a hint. And maybe the question should always be, what do you do? What kind of readings do you do? To answer that question, what kind of do I read people, 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 people and their scenarios, their outcomes, their paths, their journeys, their outcomes, people, people living and people past. People. I read people. Okay? Um so and the tools that I use is clairvoyancy, so visions, um clairvoyancy, mediumship. So clairvoyancy would be visions. Mediumship would just be the communication of your higher self and your lower self. Um, I use, I guess, empathy, clairsentient empathy, or feeling that kind of thing. Those are what I do. I don't do those other things. Um, So yeah, thank you, Cindy. That is welcome. That is welcome. That is so welcoming. Thank you. So thank you for this. So there's an example. That's how I know I should wake up in the morning and continue to do the job they do by the clients. When the clients are saying, "Hey, this helped me, this benefited me, whatever," then that's how I know. Me myself, I'm gonna always be psychic. I'm gonna be always reading things intuitively, whether I'm doing it professionally or not. So if I quit this psychic medium job and I became a welder, I'm still gonna be a person who sees things clairvoyantly and all that stuff. So the value of how my services can affect the others is really left on the client. That's how I know. I wake up every day and I think, did I provide value? Are still people still interested? Am I still interested? Am I having fun? And I go on. If I wake up one day and I don't have visions and I don't have anything, I wouldn't do this job. There's a couple other things that I like in life that I would do. What else can that drives me crazy? Well, I mean, I think anybody who does any type of service, I was gonna say any online services, but particularly any type of services, um, goes through moments of people coming in to solicit a whole other kind of service. Now, my services are geared to adults, but it wouldn't be classified as adult services. And that's always a pet peeve when somebody books me and comes in and they just want like sexy talk. And I'm like, um, sure, but no. Like, I mean, I'm not going to judge you for what you want to spend your money on, but you're not getting it from me. Bye bye. But I think that happens in many, and I would say all online industries. I'm sure it happens a lot, but in many industries, it's particularly my online industries where it's like I'm going to turn on a webcam and we're gonna have a private conversation, but my clothes are on, and usually my eyes are closed because or looking up somewhere because I'm giving a psychic reading. Yes, that happens. That happens. But again, it's not like that just happens to me. I That happens in any industry where people are giving online services, men or female. I think people just think that it's a good way in, or they might. You know what? I'm not even going to go down the rabbit hole on what leads people to do that, but do that. I have been asked to see my feet. And I'm like, I like my feet. But no, not at work. Not at work, not at work. What else has drives me crazy? Oh, okay. This is something where I can understand. I can completely understand and I empathize with clients where this happening. But I think this also comes down to um the whole idea that at the end of the day, while I'm being very supportive of you, like when you connect with me, it is about you. My whole energy, focus, intentions are about you. It's not it's hard to explain. It's to say that it's a two-way conversation, but it's really one directional. It's a two-way conversation, but the energy is one directional, meaning that when you come in to have a reading with me, particularly a private reading with me, I am servicing you. I'm giving you a service. I'm either answering your questions, I'm helping you understand something, a perspective, I'm offering you a perspective, I'm listening. So I'm absorbing what you are even trying to articulate. Sometimes people come in and they have a lot on my mind and it takes the time to articulate what they're saying. So I'm absorbing it. I'm making sure that I'm hearing you and that you are listened. And sometimes when you come in and you're all upset about something, and you start telling the story. Well, yesterday I was at my job and then my boss said, like sometimes the backstory is not truly the question at the end. It's kind of like how you're getting your thoughts out. And I'm there for all of that. And I welcome that. Like I want you to be able to process your thoughts. This is the place to do so, right? Because I'm reading your subconscious thoughts, your internal energy, and we are not always aware of our subconscious thoughts. So as you talk, you're surfacing your own subconscious thoughts as well. So it's one, I will be reading into it, but it's also for you to get that connection. And that's what we do. We are trying to bridge the gap between your subconscious and your your I don't want to say your lower self, your subconscious, your consciousness and your subconsciousness, your higher self and you. We're trying to bridge that gap with by any means necessary. So I appreciate that. I it the interesting part, and again, it's this is not something bad because I'm pretty sure me as a client to readers, I've done this too. But what happens is when people start to ask me my own personal like like choice in that situation. And I'm like, what? No, don't ask me. This is not about me. This is about you, honey. All you. This is all about you. Yes, you can have a question. You can have a reading. Post your question in the chat. Post your specific. I am best suited for those who have a specific question, a very like direct question, and not so much for a broad general reading. So yeah, when people start asking me like, how would you feel if your boss did that? And I'm like, you're asking like this, whoa. The energy is not about me, it's about you. Um um yeah, the energy is not about me, it's about you. So that's always, again, that's not something that drives me crazy. I again, I only said that just to make this interesting, but that's something that always like um throws me off because this whole entire thing is for you. It's like I want you to come here and know that everything is about you. Could be very self-serving. You could talk all about yourself, all about whatever yourself. There's no that this is the place for that. So when you turn it around asking me what I would do, and I don't know, maybe it's just like a what would I do, but I live a very different life. Like, I spend my life reading other people and saying what's going on in their lives and those kind of things. And through my social media or through these lives, I'm trying to show who I am as a person a bit, to say that I'm trying to ground and level head the psychic community and saying that we're just regular people with a whatever. So my own personal choices or how I handle things in life could be very different from what I'm reading. They're very different. Like I might jump up and yell and scream at the boss and go crazy and throw things down and like and throw things across the room. That could be how I, Monique, handle the situation. Um, but that's nothing to do with how you might handle the situation or how the situation might affect you. So asking me what I would do in the situation might sometimes you could fall into a bad situation if you do that sometimes because you could be thinking of all the great things and the positive things to do. I'm going to stay calm. I'm going to do this and I'm gonna, speak to the person and write a formal letter. And then if you ask me what I would do, and I'm like, I'd probably scream their head off and I'd probably throw and knock the papers off. And you'd be like, that's not very, very like that's not the healthy thing to do. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm not like the guru of all life. I'm not the person with the best like, you know what I mean? I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, I'm actually a human who has my own feelings and emotions, and so I don't need that level of whatever to read you because 'cause I'm only reading you. So, that's always an interesting spot. Um, I'm good, how are you? I'm good. Hi there. Hey there. What else happens? Oh, this is another thing that drives me a little cray. Used to drive me to like I forgot I had these fun buttons. Okay, another thing that drives me nuts or that bothers me. See, this thing should be over here like this. There. I think I've got it. Is when okay, so I see what I see, right? Like I see what I see. So if I say I see you having lunch with this individual. It usually happens during the opposite form. Okay, but if I say, "I see you happy having lunch with this individual," and then the client goes, "But they are all the way they're an hour away." And I go, "Yeah, I see you having lunch with this individual, but they're an hour away and they weren't sure if they can't make it." So, and I'm like, "Yeah, I see you having lunch with this individual." But I was talking, and then the client's like, "But I was they're an hour away. They weren't sure I was making it." And then I was talking to their mom, and their mom said that they have another appointment at the same time. And then it's like, I still see what I see. I can't see something what you say is not gonna influence. Let me clarify that. I'm reading what I see, not what I want to happen, not what you want to happen, not what makes logical sense. I'm saying this is what I see happening. I'm having a vision and I see you having lunch with this individual. So all the things that you're saying are not going to change what I see. Now, I think it's like I'm not sure why that happens. I mean, again, sometimes when certain things happen, that I'm like, I don't, my I'm doing my job. My job is to answer your questions, provide you insight. So if let's say the client is doing something that I find strange or odd, I'm not gonna I'm gonna prevent myself from trailing off to then find out what is odd or why the client is doing that for my own gratification. I don't need to do that. I'm just gonna stick to what I'm doing, my job at that time. Maybe when I'm done the reading and it's over and later in my life, I'll start to think about these things on a global scheme. Why do people do that? What was that? So during the reading, I'm not going to actually um um I'm not going to oh, hold on. I see some questions and I'm going to start. Yeah, I'm not going to see something different. Like I see what I see. And sometimes it's like the client will they feel or they have their own intuition of something and their intuition is saying this person's not going to make it or maybe it's their fears or doubt, whatever. They have their own feeling that this person's not gonna make it. But yet they're asking me if the person's gonna make it. So that means even a portion of themselves thinks that it could be possible enough to ask, or they just want me to agree, like what they want confirmation of what they feel. So that's always a tricky spot. But I the reason why I say I get it is because if I really think something isn't gonna happen or is gonna happen, and then somebody's telling me different, that's we're entering the world of cognitive dissonance. We're entering a world where you feel something and then somebody else feels it different. The only way to solve that conundrum is to wait it out. Maybe you were right. Maybe this person doesn't make it. But even if they don't make it, I saw what I saw. Like I'm not creating, like I'm allowing the energy to create a visual picture in my mind and I'm just explaining the visual picture. Um so that's always difficult. And I think it gets to the frustrating part because the person has hired me to give my perspective. So it's almost like once I give my perspective, they don't want my I don't know. There's a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it's not always nefarious. It's literal cognitive dissonance and it's a hard time to but that's the whole point of the psychic reading is that I'm answering questions that didn't happen yet. So time will tell. Time will tell. Let's figure it out. Or so that happens usually with like future readings, but sometimes it also happens where a client is saying something like, "Oh, this person's horrible and they have a problem with me. They think they act like they look down on me. They're doing all these things like this person is just out to get me and they have all these feelings about this person." And then they go, that's what they're trying to do, and then I'm stuck now because if I don't see that and sometimes it's, like, not even a question that was asked, but it's kind of like, "Oh, Susie from work hates me. She's always giving me these bad looks, and I could just feel it. I could tell she hates me, and she thinks she's better than me." And then the question would be something like, "Is Susie going to lose her job?" Right. So my podcaster, my production assistant back there is saying that's not even a question. So she I don't even know if you guys can hear that in the background. So yeah, so they were saying Susie hates me. I know it. She's always giving me dirty looks and she thinks she's better than me and she looks down on me. And then the question is Susie going to get fired from the job? So I can answer that question without actually seeing that Susie's out to get them or Susie hates them. Like I might look at it and I see that Susie doesn't hate them. Susie actually likes this person or it just feels shy around them or feels intimidated by them or just doesn't even think about them at all. Like Susie doesn't have an opinion. I might see that, but the question at the end is will Susie get fired from the job? Now I might read I see Susie getting fired from the job. It does not mean that Susie got fired the job because they hate that person. So we could have the continuous reading. I'm just here to answer the questions you ask, and I'm here to explain the perspective that I see. And then it will come back to, so she does hate me, right? And then I'm like, I don't see that. Well, then why would she do this? You know what? If you nobody on earth, on the spiritual world, in the heavens, the hells, or whatever, can tell you what you should feel or tell you that what you're feeling is wrong. If you feel that Susie hates you, there's a reason why you feel that Susie hates you. Maybe it's a misperception, it's a distortion, it's a something happened before and Susie did give you a bad look and that look is a look of contempt, but maybe there is you are not necessarily out of your mind just because you see something or you feel something that the reader does not see. It does not mean that you're wrong. And I think that always again, that always is a interesting thing when people make an assumption. They make an assumption about something without having a fact or whatever, and they're making it off of their intuition, which is fair. That's what I do. But then they're assuming that I'm also going to feel that. That's where it gets a little bit tricky. And again, these are things that it the part that drives me crazy about that is the assertion that I'm going to feel and see what you did, but the point is you hired me to give my perspectives. Again, it comes back to the same thing that I'm only doing my job. I'm not offering my own opinion. It's possible that if I worked where you worked, I would have the same perspective. Maybe, probably not. Probably not. But that's another thing that kind of drives me crazy. There's a couple things that are more egocentric. I might say that drives me crazy. But let me take a little let me see. Let me set this stuff up. Let's see if I could set this up. I worked hard. I didn't actually work that hard on it, but I worked on this video, and it would be a shame if I could find a way to. All right. See how I did that? See how I did that? I'm just excited that I did that because those are some of the things that I would do that my OCD wouldn't let me do. So accomplishing a little task to task. Okay, so yeah, that's another thing people do. Okay, let's answer some questions. Just because I feel like this is one of those days where it's like I could go on and 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 on about some of the things that people do that drive me crazy. So that's Alpha Cosmetics. That's the affiliate link below. There is, I think it's up to 60% off their fall items on selected items, and then up to 30% percent off on like their non-membership. So if you're a member, I think you get up to 60, and then if you're not a member, you get whatever. Don't quote me, just click the link, okay? Just click the link and go to the site. Okay, so go to that. You guys understand how affiliate links are, is that when you click the link and you actually purchase something, I get a commission. And that's how I am trying to keep these live streams alive, because this is not my day job. Doing live streams is not my day job. You know what my day job is? Psychic reading. So right now, I am not taking clients and I'm forfeiting that income to be here. But I say it like all cheesy like, but I really want to be here because this is my passion to be on camera and things like that. So love elf. Me too. I mean, how do they do it, right? How do they make it so cheap? Like, how do they do it? I think they're the like piece de resistance of like um low budget brands. Like they're a lower budget brand, but they're like they're knocking it out the park. Like I don't know how they do. Maybe with all these affiliate links. These affiliate. Thank you, Chandra. Thank you, Chandra. I mean, I love all your support, but I think when Chandra gives me support, I just feel really warm. Chandra Wattleworth, and yeah, I probably said it wrong. Or you know what? If it was German, it would be Wattleworth. Wattleworth. I am. I. Ich. Ich. Ich lerne. Ich lerne. Ich lerne Deutsch. Und ähm, und ich will, ähm, ich will gibt eine Psychic Lisa, ein Deutsch, aber ich habe, ähm, ich habe lerne viel Deutsch, more Deutsch before. You know what? When you're learning a language and then you're asked to speak it, and it's like all by myself. I could speak German, but then I have to. Anyways, yeah, Sandra, she's also a fellow reader on here. Um, really sweet. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. When you guys come in here, you know you're getting intense energy, and I'm gonna be like intense and all over the place. And you go into Chandra's chats, and I swear her lives are like, so very nice and calm. So thank you, Chandra. Thank you, Chandra. And Chandra's been here since the beginning, the ride or die. Um, yeah, so that I don't know, not going off a tangent, but I do struggle with OCD and I struggle with like perfectionism type of OCD. Well, I actually struggle with contamination OCD, rumination OCD, um, like anxiety based OCD, but I also have this one perfectionistic OCD which ties into the rest, but I get a whole bunch of ideas and the things that I want to accomplish, and then it's not just that they have to be perfect, it's how they have to be exactly how I had that in my mind and the feeling, and it takes me forever. So I've been working on that, and so I being able to create another ad video and put it up, and even as I watched it, I was like, yeah, that's not what I wanted it to do. Yeah, it didn't do what I wanted it to do, and it was burning me as you guys were watching that, but I pushed through and I did it and I beat the anxiety. I don't know, I might cry a little later, but I think I'm doing it. All right, so we'll get back. So you know what I mean? Like, listen, I worked hard and am still working hard on these affiliate links. And if you are somebody who randomly works for these companies that provides me these affiliate links, and you always see that I barely post them, why am I even there? Just bear with me. Keep sending me them. Trust me, we're gonna make money together. I think you were on my very first live. Well, maybe not my very first, because I did that in such secrecy. Maybe my very second. But you could have been. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, Elf. Okay, so let's try to ask answer some questions. I know, but that's how it is. Like when I go into people, I always like walking on the street, living your life. You're like, oh my god, I wish I want to ask the psychic this. I wish I went to this. And then you get there and you're like, but burning overwhelming questions, I think, is a sign of a little bit of even a little bit of anxiety. So it's a complex thing. Okay, I see a very long paragraph. Here we go. Hopefully it's something I can read. I have not scanned this yet. Okay, let's go. Delphina Bailey Nichols, when you told me about a more in-depth type of name numerology website 7 years ago, my life and worldview changed. I discovered amazing things about myself, but also discovered what's at the root of the much darker elements of society. The knowledge to correct these things exists, but the men who hold the secrets are not using them to fix the real roots of our world's greatest problems. I think they might have somewhat of a distorted definition of right wrong, which is a commonplace. There you go. Good job. All right, Delphine. Yeah, so I think it she's speaking to at the start of my career, and like I said, one of the annoying things in my current career. But at the start of the career, a lot of people would ask me about things that, and I went through a phase where it's like people were asking me things as like because I was introducing myself into the psychic spiritual industry, and people would ask me about numerology and all these things, and I would feel obligated. I don't know if the obligated is the right word. It's not like I felt obligated, but I felt like I should know these things. Like I should, these are all these things in the spiritual world I want to know. And then since I'm such a person who's like the more not like I see random things and I'm like, I just want to learn how to do that. So I did felt maybe it's a pressure and then also maybe tied into my OCD of needing to know things. Um Numerology, I used to get a lot of questions about numerology, and I did not myself have that information, so I would always send people to a numerology website that I found intuitively, I don't have a better word, good. Intuitively, I found that it was how do I say good? Like, how do I say it? Intuitively, I felt that the people behind the website were people who were genuinely choosing to give information, share information with a good intent. So I don't want to say good as if it was like the best site or they were right, the wrong. I don't know, but I was saying I felt like, oh my gosh, these people actually care about the information and whatever. And I remember I used to send people there a lot. So I think that Delphina is saying that that was something that impacted. And that's why I say I don't mind the questions. I don't mind that people are asking about numerology or asking about archangels and all those kind of things. Um, there are readers out there or information out there that can help you explore that. So I think that was nice to hear, Delphina, that I was a catalyst to something greater in your life or such impactful change or something like that. That's good. Then even though I didn't have those answers, I'm glad that I was, maybe a marker on your path to say, I think you should go that way. So that's awesome. But yeah, there's a lot of things to learn when you delve into any psychic world or spiritual world. I mean, it's a very different world from the material world. So information that you find there can be very alarming to things that you know, and it's just trying to decipher that. So thank you for sharing. Sam Thompson. Can I ask how will be the character or personality of my future kids? I would like to know. I don't read into kids. I forgot to put that into my disclaimer. I don't read into kids. I don't read into kids. And you don't. You're saying they're your future kids. This is not like such a bad question, but maybe in a private we would kind of talk about this, but publicly, I shouldn't say that. Reading into your future kids would assume that you're going to have future kids. So I would have to read if you're going to have future kids to even answer the question if you're going to have future kids. And I don't read into childbirth. I don't read into life or death. No, I don't. I don't read into life or death. I don't choose to. That is a book of the world's secrets that I don't choose to open. Some readers do, and they choose that. I don't choose to read that. I don't. I want to read you after you've died and after you've born. Those transitions I'm not I don't read. And I can admit and say that I do perceive that. I do see some births and I've seen some passings, but it's not something that I choose to engage. So there's a lot to be a lot, but I think it's a cute question, Sam Thompson. They're probably gonna be a lot like you. Adorable. Adorable. That's the reading. A lot like you. Adorable. I read for you last week and it turned out true. Well, well, I hope I hope if it turned out true, I hope that it was something that you either wanted to be true that turned out true, or even if it was something, I hope that reading it for you gave you some pause and some um some preparation on how to now deal with that. Because that could be an angry thing. You read something for me last week and it turned out to be true. Damn you. Or it could be, oh, you read something, it turned out to be true. So I don't know. I don't know where we're going with that. Um, but I'm glad. I think at the end, and this is what I say, the purpose is that I've left you feel with something. I left you with something. I gave you something that you could do. So wonderful. All right, I see this question from Psychic Vampire. Should I go back to school or should I continue to do psychic readings for people and try to make a living of it? I cannot tell you what to do. Telling you what to do is not a psychic reading. If I tell you what to do, then that means that I'm felicitating this future for you. And I just read. I don't tell people. I don't create the future. I just read it. But I think when people say, should I or shouldn't I think what they're asking is they want me to look in the outcomes of each. So this is also interesting because this could be a probable. So you have not made a decision at all yet. And so you are looking at the probable, what could potentially happen if you do make this decision, or if what could potentially happen if you make the other decision. And then I could provide you that information of both, and you decide on which one feels more impactful to you or whatever. Because let's say I go, okay, if you make the decision for going back to school, and then I look at the probable. So these are things that are not necessarily actually happening in the future. These are a collection of energetic events. Okay, so we're going to get to like some real science here. This is like quantum physics. The thought of a thing, just this mere thought of a thing, can create the path of the thing, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that is the complete outcome. Like your thoughts influence a certain path, right? So thinking about something can create a trajectory of it. Like if I'm holding this pick me pop, and I like them because they're squishy and they smell nice. Great sensory toy, by the way. If I'm holding this pick me pop and I'm throwing it over towards the kitchen sink, right? So before I throw it, I'm thinking I'm going to throw it into the kitchen sink. I could see the trajectory of how it will take to get to the kitchen sink. I could see that before I throw it because that's just what I want to do. I want to throw it to the kitchen sink. I haven't thrown it yet, but in my mind, I could see the trajectory of how it will go before it goes, right? And then I throw it and maybe I miss. Okay? So that's the thing about a probable. That's the thing about a probable. Also, that could also go into the different dimensions when we say that the third or fifth dimension, the fifth dimension, the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension is there's you choosing living on this path and you're doing all these things. So me doing this live stream, what I'm going to do next after the live stream is done, what I'm going to do for the next of my day. And that's I could anticipate that, right? There's a whole other dimension of other things that I'm doing that don't exist, right? So we're getting really technical there. I could do a live stream on the different dimensions. And so you have readers particularly mediums, if a reader says they're a medium, so what that constitutes to mean is that this is a person that can see things on many different dimensions. Which dimension is going to be the material dimension? So again, I say I'm going to throw this into the sink, right? The material dimension is I have not thrown this yet. It has not reached the sink. So many things could happen. The wind could take it. I could miss. I didn't calculate the trajectory right or whatever. But where it lands, if it lands in the sink or if it lands on the counter, that's the material dimension. So there's a material dimension and then there's the probable dimension. Okay, so again, all this yammer yammer. Should you go back to school or should you instead continue to do psychic reading? Okay, so I could look at if you go back to school and what is the trajectory of that dimension, that world, that world. Because there's a world where I'm a I don't know, I'm a construction worker and right now I'm on a job, right? There's a world for that. There's a world that I'm here now. There's a world that I never moved to the small town. There's a world that I never had a child. All these things are happening multidimensionally. And it's the material one that I materialize. So the one that I choose to materialize is the one that I'm existing. So I've chose to materialize or to see this dimension of me doing this live stream. Theoretically, there's the dimension where I'm a construction worker and I could choose to materialize that and that's what I'm seeing in there. Anyways, okay. So should you go back to school or should you instead continue to do a psychic reading? Psychic readings. Okay, so should you go back to school? See, and then sometimes people ask questions about they're in a contemplation, but I could read inside of them that's something that they don't want to go to do. So I'm seeing that yeah, this is not telling you what to do. You could hear all these things and make your own choices, and that would be the point of a reading, the catalyst for something new, right? You're standing at the crossroads. The Yoda comes in and is like, "You could do this" or whatever. Okay, so should you go back to school? So I get in a strong sense of not wanting to go back to school, not just because of not wanting to go to school to do psychic readings, but not wanting to go back to school just because not so much for lack of a better word, in love with the things that we were doing at school or in love with the school or love it. There's a lack of wanting to do that on its own. I see that there's less joy of doing it. So it's almost like say we're struggling between two things and both things we love so much. I feel like school is not one so much, but again, it's not because of psychic readings, it's on its own. So if there was no psychic reading in your life, I feel like school again would it is something that there's a little bit of a struggle. There's a little bit of there's some challenges there about wanting to go to school or do school or school itself, or even if you want to go to school, there's some challenges about executing that plan. So I see that in all the dimensions that are going to be materialized and where the energy is going to be focused on, because where the energy focused on is what usually materializes. Um, and energy meaning thoughts and whatever. But I see that a little bit lower on the lower, a little bit of the lower, not the lowest dimension in your life, but lower. So as for continuing to do psychic readings to make a living out of it, I do see some conflicts within you about monetization and giving readings. Like there seems to be some hurdle between that, making that crossover and making those things work. There seems to be a hurdle. I get with the psychic readings in you, there's a sense of joy, fulfillment, or purpose, or there's something that really gets your goat about doing these readings or being in that community and the monetization of it. So you have to think that psychic reading, to do it as a career, is a business. So it's no different than any other business, right? So there's the passion for something. I want to make whatever your business is. I love making socks. Sure, you could love making socks. But then there's a whole of like how to run a business, how to set up your taxes and how to register your business, how to do your accounting, how to market, how to customer care, how to take care. There's a whole like there's all of that too. And so I feel like there's a hurdle between the two for you. It's like you're so passionate. A lot of times I think with careers or things that people want to do that are so passionate, this is going to sound like advice, and I don't have this, so it's like also advice I give to myself, but I do it anyways because whatever. um is that there's sometimes a psychic reader would be considered the talent. You are considered the talent, you're considered the entertainment, the talent, the art, the talent. And so whenever you have an industry where there's a talent, you also have managers or business people, so you could just be the talent. You don't have to, other than answering yes or no to certain things, you could just be the talent. And then there's people who manage that or whatever, or maybe you manage it, but there's other people who run. So there's a whole bunch of things there. A lot of that sounded like advice, but what I'm saying is that I feel like for you, um, while you're considering going back to school, I'm finding that there's a lot of dis distaste or uncomfortable with going with school itself, and what you're doing and how what you would be doing or what that is. I feel like there's like there's more of a resistance there. And with the psychic readings, I see there's more of a passion, endurance, a wanting to do that. But I also see, because your question was, and try to make it for a living. um I mean, if we're gonna give some advice, we might go to school for business. You can go to school for business. All right. So I went on a whole tangent about that. And yeah, if you want a reading, just post your question, a specific question, a more direct question, not a general question. Don't ask me about what your future is going to be. Don't ask me what the next couple months in your life is going to be. Ask a specific question. All right. So that's what I get for a psychic vampire. Um Oh, sorry about the dead air, guys. Let me just put something in there. Oh my god, just entertain myself. Okay. Oh, I should uncheck the questions after I've asked them. Okay, so I found this nifty thing of how to star things. Um okay, here we go. Angel, what can you tell me about my future love relationship with Christabel? Will it be happy life relationship? So I'm picking up that you two are in a kind of type of relationship. There's definitely some interactions there. It's either that it's really, really new or it hasn't solidified yet. I feel okay, so I feel like this person's gonna be in your life for quite some time, but I also feel like someone else is gonna be in your life. Like there's gonna be someone else. Like I don't see that this person is the end. Well, I see that this person being around you for quite some time, and it might be a situation where like you're together, but then not together, but then friends, but then kind of, and it's just, and then you break up, but you stay friends, and that kind of thing. Like this person's gonna be around you for quite some time, but I see someone else that you develop a conclusive, sorry, well, conclusive, exclusive relationship with, where this person is the person. So any relationship, whether it's platonic, friends, casual, intense, that you have with Cristobal, I feel is I don't feel it's gonna be tumultuous. like tumultuous, like difficult, but I do feel like it's gonna be inconsistent. Um, but not painful, just inconsistent. I don't see that well, I just said it. I don't see that you're gonna be in a continuous relationship with this person um often. I feel like there's some other parties that come into your life. Aish, Ishka. What are Arian's feelings and intentions towards me? I get the feelings are positive. I get that they're like when Arian thinks of you, Arian. When Arian thinks of you, I feel like it's very positive. It's very like good feelings. Like I think this person's has an attraction to you, good feelings, but the feelings don't feel like that strong and that powerful. Like I don't see they're like, oh my gosh, yes. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's good. I feel like the intentions are, I don't want to say whatever happens happens, but intentions would be like, I intend to go to the store later. So I intend to do something. So this is something that I'm planning to execute. I don't see an intention that this person has. But I don't see like, is disintention a word? Let me look that up. Disintention. Um yeah, I don't see that person. It's okay. So I plan to go to the store later, but the beach a beach walk might happen. I could see myself doing a beach walk, but I don't like intend to do a beach walk. I'm like it could happen. I feel like it's like that. It's like I don't have like any intentions. I just want to I'll stay in contact. That's what I pick up. I'm putting this up because I think it's very interesting. I thought that some spirits are very powerful. Like some people do pacts with them to achieve things, black magic. I mean, again, this is like I don't do magic, black magic. Like I don't know. I don't know. You're asking me about a world that I purposely don't engage. I purposely don't. Knowledge is the answer to everything. So I'm interested to know what these people think or what these people do or what their intentions are. But I'm not interested. Like I'm not. I just want to be on a fly on the wall to see what they do and what their motivations are. So I don't really have an answer for that. You can't take when it comes to psychic stuff or spiritual stuff, right? You can't take what someone else is very passionate about and very believes about, like somebody believes in black magic and they do it and all that kind of stuff. And because they're so passionate about it and they're so intentional, you can't just adopt that and say, well, that's what they do. And that's, you know what I mean? Because it has to make sense to you. Um, so you saying I thought some people like people do so first, you would have to believe in the idea of spirits as an entity that can interact with the material world. So you would have to believe that. And then you would have to believe that people can do those things. Like, you know what I mean? So if you believe that, I couldn't tell you different. Do I believe that? I think there's um I think there's some logic behind I think there's some logic and there's a certain type of motivation between that behavior. Um, how can some spirits be so powerful? I don't get it. I mean, you are stating that. I did not state some, you know what I mean? So how do we can't when it comes to things, you can't state something as fact when it's not fact and then question it. Like it's not fact. So how can some spirits be so powerful? So that's an assertion that some spirits are powerful. Um, so how can you assert that? How can you ask that? The question would be, are there powerful spirits? Are spirits powerful? Is it possible? Is a spirit, what can a spirit do? Like you have to ask those questions. Um, like you can't say, I can't how can some aliens on Mars be so smart? So, how can I answer that if I don't even believe there's aliens on Mars? You know what I mean? You would have to talk to people who believes there's aliens on Mars and let them articulate how that intelligence go. But if I don't even believe in the first half of the sentence, I can't. And when I say I don't believe, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying that I don't perceive that how spirits can be so powerful. And we can talk about what does one mean when they say spirit? When I say spirit, I mean the energy inside of me, the thing that's making my heart beat, that boom, 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 you know? What that energy, like literal electricity, literal power, literal things that are performing my neurons, that's from the earth that also enters my body. That's what I call a spirit. So we're on different planes, bud. We're on different planes. Modi Live. I plan to start my own business. You do you, girl. You do you. Do you see me doing it in my field or something else? Well, I mean, if you have all those questions, we're not near starting a business yet, are we? um, I think what you're articulating, Modi Live, is that I know entrepreneurship is for me. And I know that um working in a under as a well, entrepreneurship is still working under a structure. But you basically you're saying no, that entrepreneurship is for you. I think that's what you're saying when you say I plan to start my own business. Because I plan to start your own business would be you're planning, you have a business that you're planning to start. But yeah, I get it. So you're saying entrepreneurship is for me. I don't want to work for the man no more. I'm not doing that. I am definitely going to be independent. I'm going to find something and I'm going to be independent. You got your Shark Tank hat on, you got your Dragon's Den hat on, and you are ready to go. Now you only have to find the product or the service and whatever. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier with psychic. I'm like, psychic vampire was saying, should they be do they want to monetize being a psychic reading? And I'm like, well, psychic reading is the thing. Now you get to figure out how to monetize it, which is the business, which are totally two different things. They don't anything can be a business, right? Like, but business is a structure, and how do you do that? Or Modi Live is the opposite. She's like, I got I know the structure. I know it's entrepreneurship. I know it's that. I know it's all that kind of stuff. And she's saying, what is the talent? What is the service? What is the product? Okay. I do see you doing it within your field because it feels like something very familiar to you, like as if you're going to take things that you already know and possess, and then you're going to monetize that and figure that out. I do feel like it's going to be something in your field. I don't see that it's going to be something that you haven't done. I think you nail it. I think you actually start to monetize things that you know how to do, and that I do see it's going to be in your field. And when we say in your field, it could be an extension of what you do. It could be, but I do feel like the resources and things that you know within your field is whatever. Maybe it's a product that you develop off of it. It looks like a service though. It looks like a service though. So yes, something in your field. Awesome. I like that. I kind of paused on that because I was like, okay. All right. Question, Priya. How is my career progressing? I mean, in what context? Financially, emotionally, mentally? And I'm pretty sure the answer I would get to that. All of that. All of that. I just want to know everything. There's nothing specific that I want to know. I want to know it all. Um, I feel there's a stagnation about your career progressing. Like, okay. So, okay. So, when a career progresses, so you're here and then you jump to this level, and then this level. But there's that time in between each level, and I find there's some okay, so it's okay. So I feel like you're in one of the middle levels. Before you reach to the next level, I feel like you're in there. So you're in there. I don't feel like you're going backwards, but I feel like the next thing you have to do, I'm getting this feel I pick up that the next thing you have to do is so very this is gonna sound like advice, but hey, you asked. So um so you're giving me free range to just talk about stuff in your life. The thing that you to get to the next level, it looks like something that you have to orchestrate and initiate yourself. Like it comes off as a sense like I'm just using examples and apply it to yourself, but it's like, let's say I'm just a cashier, and then the next position is the third key holder. So I have control over the key, the opening the stores, whatever, but I don't completely control the employees or the whole store. And then the next one is manager. So cashier, third key holder, manager, a career progressing. Okay, so I've been a cashier for whatever long time, right? To In your situation, I feel that it's not so much that the manager or the third key holder is going to look down to me to promote me. I feel like I have to go maybe apply to do that. Like there's like I have to level up myself. Like I have to say, "Hey, I want to be a third key whatever," and do that. So that's why I'm seeing it stagnant, not so much because it's not going anywhere, but I'm seeing like the next level is something that you have to like you have to level up, you know? You beat the game, and now you have to like go get the next, the next edition. And that's what I see. So that's how I see your career progressing. I feel like it's coming to the point where you're going to have to um make the shots. Like I don't know, a person who goes to school or their doctorate or whatever it is called, their PhD, and then they do their residency. And after the residency, they can then develop their own practice, but no one's going to give them their own practice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one's going to give them that. I mean, somebody could, but really, it's like the next level is for you to then level up. That's what I see. And how can I do my best for your future? I don't know. I'm not a career developer. I just see the future. I read it. I see it. I read it. I don't know. I didn't write the book. I just see it and I read it. But I think a general question, how can you do the best for your future, is be goal oriented. This is where it gets into the guru stuff. And I'm trying to get you guys away from depending on gurus to tell you how to live your life. Um, how can you do the best for your future? I mean, make goals, um, take risks, knowledge, learn as much as you can, ask questions. Um, yeah, yeah. And I guess if you're asking personally, like, can I look into you and look at your flaws and tell you how to fix them? I mean, a therapist can easily do that, but for free, well, I would say there's always seems to be a hesitancy I pick up with you before doing things. Sometimes a little over contemplation, like I have to do something, and then you hesitate, and then you contemplate and contemplate and contemplate it, and it seems like a lot of contemplating than actually planning. Not that you don't plan, but I see you contemplate a lot. You think about it, think about it, think about it, think about this, about it, think about that, and how that, and that could be the stagnancy, is that it's just the next step. And there's also a little bit of confidence. I mean, we all struggle with confidence in certain areas. I guess the example again would be like that doctor who's the resident. He however it goes, but they're in school, then they have their residency, and then they have to do their residency for whatever, and then they successfully do their residency, and then what's the next step? And then before they contemplate, should I open up my own practice? Should I do this? But if I do this, then what if this, and what if I do this? But like, what's the next? To just go and go check what would it be like to get an office building or an office space and my own independent client, like what, just to take action on that. Again, that's a whole bunch of advice. I'm not, listen, you guys, my life is not perfect. I'm not one. I listen, there is a book called Your Future. I open it, I read the page. I tell you what's on the page. Go forth in life with knowing what's on the page before. There's also people in life that don't have a book, can't see your future, and they're going to tell you what in which you can do to get the things that you want. Those are called therapists, advisors, business managers, teachers, those people. Maybe we'll bring some of those on those podcasts, but they can. But I don't. I just say, again, like a GPS. The GPS is telling you how many kilometers the store is up ahead, where how many kilometers you're going to have to turn. The GPS is like a psychic reader. It's telling you what's ahead, but it's not telling you how to drive the car. It's not telling you to put the car into drive, press the gas, turn the steering wheel, it's not telling you how to, it's just telling you what is up ahead. There is a sharp right turn up ahead. That is the reading. And then the person goes, well, how do I get there? You listen, listen, your body is your vehicle. You're going to have to drive your body yourself. I can't drive it for you. And if you really don't know how to drive your body, then go to an expert who knows how to do that particular thing. Okay. All right. That way, we aren't getting readers who are also trying to say just because they can see the future that they are the be all and end all and have the answers to everything in your life, and then you are stuck dependent on this reader to do everything in your life and you can't move forward alone. No, readers, we're here to support you, let you know, give you some insight, take the edge off things. It's like a lecture. I don't know. Will I get married in the near future? Is S will be my future husband or someone else? And this question is for Minnie. I do see marriage in your future, and I do see like a healthy, like a long-term marriage, like a healthy marriage. So I'm gonna use the word S because S is someone that you feel is current, because the thing is, someone else could also have an S too, which is interesting because I'm picking, hold on. I feel like it might be someone else, but I also feel like it's close in the future. It's close, like it's not far out. It's not far out. Um, that happens. Oh my god. Oh yeah, we already went there. Okay. I speak my truth says, I have a question. How did Juan my message? How did he receive your message? I spoke some truth to him. Ooh, she let the truth out. She was just like, truth, truth, truth. Put it down. Boom. She's just like, boom. There it is. And she like dropped the mic and walked out. And then he left her on red. All right. Correction. How did Juan take my message? I spoke to him and he left you on red. Okay. I speak my truth. How did Juan? I think he was like, like, he it was very okay, first of all, I feel like he did completely read it. I can't lie. I've opened messages and clicked them just so the person can see that I've read it, but not because I'm being rude, just because that's like I want them to know that I've received it and I whatever, and I will actually read it later. So if they catch me in between the time that I've actually put them on read and when they actually ask me, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't read it yet, but it wasn't like whatever. So sometimes I do that. Sometimes I just click it and I didn't actually really read it yet, but it's because I want the person to know that I got it. I'm engaging. Give me a moment. But I don't feel he did that. I feel like he actually read it, like actually read it. And I think there's a little bit of like understanding, like a little bit of like, yeah, like you made sense. Like I pick up you made sense. I pick up that you were assertive, like, you were assertive, so I guess another person could have took it off as like, "Whoa, oof, ah." But I don't think he took it that way because I think you were more assertive than aggressive, and so it was kind of like it caught his attention to read. Like, I do see a moment of, like, stopping to read, like, opening it and then kinda like, "Oh." Like, I feel like it was one of those moments when when you're, like, talking to somebody or around somebody and you're engaging them, and then all of a sudden they stop and they're quiet and they're just looking at their phone, and then you have to kinda wait. I think that's what happened to him. I think if there were people around him, he was just, like, waiting. So, I think he walked away with, like, kind of like a this is gonna sound weird, but it might make sense to you, kinda like a good feeling, but let me explain. It's kind of like you were so clear, so assertive that it was kind of like there's no doubt in whatever the situation or anything. It's like you just, like, laid it, and it was just, like, kind of refreshing, you know? Even if somebody was saying something that I don't like about myself, but it's true, and the way they articulate it, and they articulate it in a way that's, like, digestible, that they weren't yelling at me and stuff, they were, like, assertive. Sometimes it is refreshing to say, "Oh, it's nice to know that they can complete," like, it gives a kind of like a like, sometimes those are the things that what makes people attracted to other people, how clear they can be, how assertive they can be, how it's like you wanna be seen, even if the things that you're being seen about are not your best qualities or the best of the situation. It's kind of like walked away like, "Oh, you know, just got a point. Said some stuff. Okay." And I do feel like it left you know how I say I feel like he actually read it, actually received like took it in and then left you on red because I think that's exactly the response. Like I don't like what else is there to say? Like I think the message that you said is one that not necessarily requires feedback, but it's like it could use some feedback. It's kind of like I said something, I need you to respond to what I said, but it was more like statements that I made. Um, so how would I explain that? Like it said, um, I'm going to cook dinner at 6 o'clock, so don't eat any cake before 6 o'clock. It's like that doesn't necessarily need a response, but it's also kind of formulated in a question, like I need you to say, "You're right, I won't eat the cake." So that's what I feel about your message. Like it didn't completely require a response, but it kind of required a affirmation. Yes, you're right to affirm, like affirmative, you know. And I feel like he doesn't have one. He's just like I don't. There's a little bit of wanting to challenge one of the things that you said, but he also doesn't. I get this person gets you, and I get this person is not necessarily playing games about any situation. Like, this is not while they might act childish in certain ways, I don't think this is an immature person. I think this is a person who does not necessarily know what they want in life all the time, or that they're slow to articulate their actions. Like, okay, so I could be a person who's like, "I'm going to go to the store, and I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna get the thing." But I don't say that to anybody. So everybody's watching me and they're like, "Are you gonna get it? Are you gonna get it?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I get that." So I don't know. I'm saying a lot of stuff here, but it was a question. How did he take your message? I think he took it as like what exactly was like. I think it was well read, well received as well, and like kind of understood and kind of got your point of view. Like there's some empathy there. Like, okay, I see, and she's made a point, but it's leaving me like I don't. It doesn't change my position really. I'm still and I think that's why you're left on red. Again, I think there's a little bit of something that was said where oh, Jesus Christ, I didn't see this person. Sorry, guys. Block that loser. Loser. Whoops. I didn't mean to call you a loser, but no, but they're spamming it. I didn't mean to say loser. I meant to say user, but might have been a Freudian slip. Like, stop your nonsense. Not you. You make plenty of sense. She said, "What did I say? I'm sorry." Well, you can watch it back on the replay, but, because I really can't go back and and everything because I was, like, deep in it. Um, you said you told him you needed more than the bare minimum. I think okay, so now I'm repeating it. Basically, I feel like he understood what you said. He hears you. He knows what you're saying. There's some empathy that he understands where you're coming from, but I feel like it doesn't for him, it doesn't change his position of either not knowing what he wants to do or not like it didn't make him feel different about the actions he's taking because I feel like the actions he's taking are genuine to him. Now, hold on, let me explain something. Sometimes we are trying to make sense out of nonsense. Sometimes people do stuff not based off of calculations or I figured this out and this is my mathematical, this is my intention. A lot of times people are acting on emotions. Um, I wouldn't say 90% of 90 high percent of the time people act on emotion, so it's not a complete calculated thought. People don't always say, "Oh, I'm gonna use this person," or "I'm only gonna give them the bare minimum because I don't want that. I want to only ever text this person on Wednesdays and I don't." People don't always, rarely think in a calculated response, like calculated actions. They act on emotions, feelings, um, morals, values, past things. Like, so when somebody is like maybe giving someone the bare minimum, it doesn't mean that the person giving the bare minimum is like, I'm only gonna give them the bare minimum. It could be that's all that they have to give. Sometimes they're confused, sometimes they don't want it. Like they're just constantly acting in emotions all the time. So it's not premeditated relationship murder, right? It's more like manslaughter, murder. It's like relationship manslaughter. You didn't come in there with the knife. You didn't, Google search how to relationship murder. You didn't. You just came in and this is what the person did and this is how you responded. So, I feel like with him that's what it's like. I feel like there's empathy. He understands, he gets it, but it does not change who what he has constructed in his energy, who he is, the person he is, where he is in life. It has not changed. And people don't change like that. Sometimes people are acting out of the way they just act, the way they are, their emotions. It takes a lot of work. I shouldn't even say that. It takes work. I could just say it like that. It takes work to change how we emotionally respond to things because that's like reptilian. So not just that it takes a lot of work, it takes work, meaning that has to be intentional. You have to literally say, I respond this way in this relationship, or I don't give this much, or this is how I am in this relationship. That's natural. You're not gonna, we don't bibbity bobbity boop and change that. You would have to recognize that about yourself, and that's only part of it. So sometimes we recognize things about ourselves. Hold on, all my sound got weird. We recognize things about ourselves, that's one thing. And you can say, "Okay, I know that I don't give as much in relationships," or "I really like this person, but I'm not giving them a much." Okay, I recognize that. You can recognize it all you want. How do you change that? These are neurological responses that your body does. Just like when you jump in the water, your body will automatically attempt to hold its breath. That's not something that you can say, "I'm gonna hold my breath," but if you were just thrown in the water unexpected, that's gonna happen. Once you touch the I don't know if it's the nose, I don't know where in the sensory of it you automatically hold your breath, okay? So, certain these emotional responses are just automatic, not like, they just happen, they're impulsive, they just happen, your neurons, your brain, your sensories are just structured to do that. So now you're asking to change that whole thing. It's again, it's not just a lot of work, it is work. So it's something that you have to like intentionally do. So anyway, so I feel like what you said, he grasped, he understood, um, but and I feel like that's exactly it, left you unread. I think that's a good thing. I think he physically left you unread, but psychologically left you unread. I think he psychologically left unread, like what, like he doesn't know what to say to that. All right. Oh, don't get emotional because I jumped you. There is no order. So you may think I jumped you, but maybe I didn't. Okay, so sorry about that. Spammer, guys. Woo! What? My production assistant is asking what the spammer's name. Leo Lilisha. That's a terrible name. It might not be a real name. Of course, readings are still available. Poster. Oh, I don't have my banner. I'm always like being all smart. I'm like, I I have it written on the screen, and I don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Of course, Bella, it's available. Bella. How would you know that, Madison? How would you know that? I have not mentioned that in a long time if you just popped in. Listen, I'm cheeky, and I often have to apologize for things I say. So welcome to the world of my impulsive mind. No, Madison, you're a sweetheart. You're a sweetheart. No one knows I picked questions randomly. I think I don't know. I think people assume that I pick them in order. I kind of do, but kind of don't. It's because we're streaming live on 3 different platforms. We're on Twitch. We're live streaming on Twitch right now. Hi, Twitch people. They don't really pay attention to me because I'm not gaming. Although Although I will be doing another gaming live stream. Watch the psychic medium play hidden object games. Can I use my psychic mind to find hidden object games? I love that. And let me tell you, it worked. I can. So Madison, don't no. But yeah, we're streaming live on Twitch. They don't pay much attention to me over there. But hi, Twitch. I'm here. I'm coming in. I'm coming for you. And we're also streaming live on YouTube, and we're also streaming live on Facebook. So my back end shows me all the chitter chatter from all the different places. All the different places. So it may seem in order, but whatever, but I kind of, so I don't know. I was just cheeky. Listen, my cheeky mouth gets me in a lot of trouble. I spend my days apologizing. I live an apology. And I live in silence where I could just like sometimes I have an impulse to say something and then I hold it in. I'm a work in progress. Okay. Um thank you. Thank you. It took me a while to set up the microphone. You didn't see that. You did not see that. That was the producer who just ran by with twist in her hair. Um looks beautiful with the background. Thank you. Thank you. I tried. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. Can I have nope, I don't give general readings. Nope. I am watching my producer struggle to get a like brick cheese? Just like she just rips off a chunk of the cheese. And I guess we're not feeding people here on set. This is our craft services. Okay, go. Um, my producer and I have also filmed a podcast called Blue Dog and the Mama Thing. Get away, because you're not supposed to be seen. She put a mask on her. Blue Dog and the Mama Fin. So it's how me as a psychic reader with all the things that I have going on in my life, how does a psychic reader parent their child? Oh, I mean, we also talk about other parts of my life too. So that's fun. You can hear Blue Dog and the Mama Fin. It is up on, well, it's only on the Facebook, but it's on Spotify and other apps. The podcast is The Empathetic Life of Psychic Medium Monique Empath. See, if I had a better see, this is what I was saying about business and being a psychic medium. I'm a psychic medium, but then there's a whole business of it because I never remember how to market these. Okay, let's about let's get back to questions. Okay, so just a refresher, and I'm going to, I don't know, play something. I'm going to play a little ad so I can, kind of get my money, try to get my bag. We are, yeah, we'll do this one. Okay, so we're going to continue to answer questions. So questions, no general questions, please. Questions that are, I'm best suited for a specific question. You want to know when something's happening, where it's going to happen, who's it going to happen with, how this person's feeling, what they're thinking, what was their response, what's their potential response, how an outcome is going to come. That's what I like. I like specific things. I want to give as much details as I can. General readings are just too broad, in my opinion. They're broad, like, oh, what's the future? Think about it. Your future consists of this is the future. Oh, there goes the future. There goes the future. There, you know what I mean? So when you ask me what is your future, you're putting in my hands the choice to look into your life, and then I choose what I see, whatever happening. And you'll say, well, as a psychic reader, I should pick out the best. No, I'm not responsible for what you see. I am just, you are going to ask what you see. So I don't really like general readings. And also I feel like, hey, read a horoscope. Horoscopes are the best general readers, aren't they? I am the detailed reader. So yeah. So of course you can have a question. Like this one. I see a good question. I see a good question coming up. I see some good question. Um so Bella, yeah, what's your future, what's coming up in the near future? A lot of things. We'll talk. I'm gonna play this ad. Hold on. I got a lot of things going on. Let me cancel this for a second. And then we'll come back. Oop, 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 oop. Okay, and then we'll come back. And we'll keep, and I'll star all your questions and we'll keep going. I see you, Madison. I see you, Bella. I see you, Tanisha. Tanisha? Tanisha, wait. Oh, Tanisha Thomas. You need a reading? Ask a question. Okay, I see you guys. Okay, I'm gonna play this ad, try to make some money. And then I think the ad is outdated, so I might get in trouble for that, but whatever. And then we'll come back and we'll continue to ask questions. Okay, so that ad was all silent, but it was there. Cupchi, the bathing suit company. My summer is almost over. Well, I mean, I got a few more weeks, but I mean, like, the height of my summer is almost over, so I'm sad. I've been wearing the same bathing suit for 2 seasons because I love it. It is so Good. Okay, well, I like the design, but I mean, I love it. I love that the cups, because I need some cups. I need some. I need some cups. And I like they're sewn in and they don't move and they're not like crazy. They just add a little fluff to my non-fluff. Um, I love that. And I think the bathing suits were made with just really good material. I love them. There's so many styles. Some of them are very like exposing and things that I'd be like way too shy to wear. Or I don't think I'd be shy because I could be one that would likes to be free. I like to be free where I can, but some pieces of clothing makes me feel weird. I don't know. I'm more comfortable being completely free than like I don't know. But they have all different styles, and so I think that sale was for the Aussie you viewers. Um, so there you go. All right. Again, I'm Monique Empath. I'm your resident psychic medium. When I say psychic medium, I'm just a person who uses their intuition for everything. I see everything more intuitively than I see everything more practically, but I love the science. I like to combine science and spirituality together. I like to combine logic and intuition and facts and intuition. I think is intuition is something that leads you to facts. I love facts and I love the spiritual world. I see myself as I like to read people. So what is happening around you, what will happen, what are the outcomes of certain circumstances, things within your life, your day-to-day life, your living life, those kind of things I like to read. And also people who have passed on, I like to read those too. Um but yeah, and I try to offer more details and specifics, time frames. I have to try to offer a general time frame. But when it comes to like spiritual advice and how to grow and all those things, not really my mode. Um, I give these live streams to speak on certain spiritual topics and give my opinion and my insight and everything. So if you could take away from that. But as for to be a spiritual guru, I'm not a guru. I'm not a guru. I'm not a guru. Yes, you can ask more than one question. I'm just going to try to get to everybody's first question first. The producer of the show, yes. I give that producer a little too much credit. Okay, so I saw a question. Here we go. Will I move out with D the next year or not? I am confused right now. She says, will she move out with D? I do see moving, and I do see with D. I do see moving with D. I do see that. I do see the two of you people moving and doing it together. It seems very, I want to say haphazardly. That's such a strong word, but and it's not that. But I do feel a little bit like it's not that it won't be a smooth move, but it's like when I step into your energy, I feel like the time that this move comes, it's gonna feel like a little unorganized and a little out of sorts, but there'll be a destination and a plan and everything. It just kind of feel like, you know, I feel that when I look at your energy, not to say that you're this kind of person, but I feel like there's this anticipation or this hope that you will know things will make sense. This will be this. You can make a plan. You can pack this. You could do this, or whatever, if that's what you're going to do. And I feel like that's just not happening for you. Like the solid, clean, nice plan is not happening. And I feel like the move ends up being like that. I see that the move ends up being like I'm seeing you a little bit not not that you're not happy about the move. Well, yeah. Well, it's kind of like I'm seeing the expressions of like moving things and it's kind of like you're like wish I did this or I wish we didn't have to do this or alright, like, it just doesn't feel like the most, like, "Oh, yay, and wonderful and stuff," you know? I do see that. So, that's what I see Madison asked. Madison Darkness asked, "Darkness, hello, my old friend, like my heart." Yeah. Chandra, when we were talking about, like, when you think of a question, when we have all these questions and then we're like, we actually meet with a reader. then you don't really know what to ask. That happens to me a lot. I seriously do that. Chandra says, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to ask Monique, and of course I can't think of a thing. Yeah, I think that always happens, but I'm trying to tell myself, I don't know if this is a true statement or not, but I'm trying to tell myself that, like, if I don't have anything to ask or I can't think of anything to ask, that means that I'm doing good. I don't know. Well, the jury's still out on that if that's the fact. Maybe it could be that I'm so overwhelmed I don't know how to narrow down my thoughts and ask the question that I need to ask. But right now, we're gonna go with, like, if you can't think of anything, that means, like, your life is going really good. Um, Abby Yen. Will me and M be going well? Like, gonna be having a long-term thingy? Will we last long? I do see this going well, and I do see this being like like a commitment exclusive, and it's going. I do see some challenges, but I do see, like, very involved, like, bringing each other into each other's lives, being a part of each other's lives, not just like a dating, like, actually being involved in the day-to-days of each other's lives and decisions, and very enmeshed. Enmeshed usually is a negative word, but enmeshed. Why Live? Why do you look up? Is that where you sometimes get your hits? I don't notice that I'm looking up. I don't. That's involuntarily for me. You will notice it more than I notice it, so I couldn't say what I'm doing. It's almost like a tick. Um, and now that I've mentioned it, now I'm focusing on not looking up. It's actually like a tick. Um I do that all the time, but it how do I explain? It's like a tick, right? Um, it's a tick. Okay, this is the thing. This is me getting all, like, weird when we're talking about myself. It's a tick, but, like I said, in my day-to-day life, I I I see the world from an intuitive lens more than I see the world from a material lens. So I'm constantly in, like, I guess scientifically it's a dissociated state. So, like, when I'm talking, I can't keep sight of physical things in front of me. Like, if I'm talking to you or I'm talking to the camera, I it will disappear. Like, everything goes black to a like, to like a black. Like, I actually lose, well, it wouldn't be vision, but it's type of vision that I lose. Like, I just like I lose it. Um, and so what happens with my eyes, I don't really know, or my body, I don't really know. So, medically, it's a tick, right? Spiritually, um, I see everything in visions, even things right in front of me. I'm gonna see like it in my mind first. Hard to explain. So right now I'm talking there, and there's the lights, my light setup, the laptop, the box, the stand box that I have my laptop on, the mic, the things behind me, the kitchen. So I know they're physically there, but if I start talking after a while, I can't see these things. Like, I can't see, it's like blind. I would not know where things are. Um, I could get in trouble, like, I can knock things over because I'm not seeing what I'm looking at, or I can end up doing things with my hands. So, um, and that happens to me, but the thing is, while that's happening to me, I'm in my visual mind, and so I'm watching pictures and things happening, and the visions in my mind. So that is where my intuition comes from, but like I said, I don't just turn on my intuition once I start giving readings. This is how I am in my day-to-day life. I just found a way to monetize it. So, it's not so much that I'm looking up to get information, it's just that you've just caught me in the midst of a dissociation, and that's what I'm thinking. I actually You brought that up today, and this is not the first time I'm hearing it. Actually, when I started in my career, um, I had a funny story. It's not funny. I don't know how. I don't know. Maybe you'll laugh. Maybe you'll laugh. Maybe you won't. But I didn't know that. Now I'm aware of that because people tell me, and now I've known and I've watched myself on video more than enough times to see myself doing that. So then I know it. But when I started my psychic reading, like before I started psychic reading, if I was just talking to people, I'm pretty sure I do that. And I'm pretty sure people would witness me doing that, but they would just say, "Oh, she's like that's just how I am." My head, it's not like it's not a tick that is so obvious. Um, so it was only when I started really when I started psychic readings and I'm talking on a camera and I'm talking on a camera, so the object is I'm supposed to be looking at the client in the camera. Um and the camera's there and I'm looking everywhere else and my eyes and my head is doing all these things and the client says, "Can you look into the camera?" Cuz I think I had shifted so far. Like I think I shifted so far. My camera angle is really wide, but I had shifted so far. I was like this. And so the client said, "Can you look in the camera?" And I did not know I wasn't looking in the camera. Like I didn't like it was just kind of like, "What? Like like what?" Like I thought I was looking at you. Like I just didn't think of it. And it was after that I started to notice it even more. But no, it's not like I go, "Oh," like I mean, yeah. This is why we don't talk about me. We talk about you guys. Um yeah. Um so yeah, I dissociate quite often. A lot. I'm more dissociated than I am current, than I am focused. Um yes, I have also prosopagnosia that I cannot recall a face that I've seen millions of times. Um, my producer, my little producer, I can recall her face because I live with her and I'm around her, but like if I meet somebody, it's gonna take me about at least like 6 to 8 months to be able to recreate their face or recognize them. Because I'm often dissociated. Okay. Very interesting. Thanks for answering. It's not a bother, just curious. No, it's I don't mind these questions at all. It's just weird. Whatever question you have to ask about me and the weird things I do, I actually do welcome them. I like talking about them because it's also my whole thing about I'm trying to explain psychic abilities or intuitions in a more logical, scientifical, medical, neurological sense than to say some spiritual thing. So no, I'm not looking up at ghosts. I'm not calling to the spirits. Um, just that. All right. Am I on the right path? Bella, Bella, sweetheart. Bella, Bella, sweetheart. Your makeup, if that's you, you look so cute in your profile picture. Like I love to learn how to do those things. I don't know how to make it. I pretend. Bella, Bella, there is no. This is spiritual advice. There's no wrong path, honey. There's no wrong path. I think when we say right path or wrong path, okay. So the choices that you're making in your life, we hope that you're making them autonomously, that you are making them. Whether you're making them consciously, subconsciously, you sat down and say, I want to do this. This is the path that I want to go. I want to do this. Or that you just end up somewhere and you're like, how did I even end up here? Or how did I end up in this situation or with this job or whatever and stuff like that. We hope, and the reason why I say hope, because there are situations where people are being controlled by another person, not spiritually, but like um a parent, you know, my kid goes to the school that she goes to because I tell her she has to go to that school, you know? But autonomously, we hope that you're making your choices. So as long as you are autonomously making your choices, that means there is no wrong path because that would articulate as if that you are doing something wrong in your life by just making a choice. You're not there's nothing wrong that you ever done. Now, when we have a goal and we're saying like I want to get to this place in my life. I want to get to this place in my career and we have a goal. So, we have a goal set see now I have to pay attention to the camera. We have a goal and we're here, right? And so we want to know that we're on the right path to get there and that we're not going to veer off, right? And I think that's what people when you say you're on the right path or not, that I have a goal and am I pointed in that direction and I'm moving towards that direction. But it wouldn't be a wrong path if you went that way. It would just be a longer path because you have a goal, right? So unless your goal changes, you would never be on the wrong path. And the reason why I'm preaching this, and it's kind of like, "Oh, okay, I get it. It sounds so, like, oracle-ish," right? Is because I do want to change this ideal that as if that we can make a choice that is gonna ruin things forever. Like, that is such an anxiety that you don't wanna have. Like, every day is a choice. Like, every moment you have the ability to make a choice. So if you make a choice and the outcome is not what you like, you still have the power to make a different choice. So you're never on the wrong path where you're gonna end up in, like, limbo or purgatory, right? So, are you on the right path would more likely be I'm trying to get to this goal and I want to know if I'm consistently pointed there or if I'm veering off or those kind of things, right? If you veer off, it's just going to take you longer to get to your goal unless you change your goal. But yeah, so hopefully we can just instill that confidence in ourselves and you can wake up and say, I'm making choices for myself. Some of these choices may lead me to places that I didn't really wanna go or things that didn't turn out right for me, but I am empowered to know that I am making these choices. I'm right. I am correct. I am powerful. I am mighty. I can do these things, right? I know that's kind of like, that's kind of like, the oh, hallelujah thing, but it's true. All right. So anyways, but your specific question, I do feel I do feel that there are some things in your life that you're that are not leading you to where you wanna go, um, and it is taking longer to I just saw a hummingbird, guys. He just went "Zoop, zoop." Well, I guess he would have been faster. Went "Zoop, zoop." Well, why my mouth is slow, but my mouth is fast, but "Zoop, zoop." There, that's what he did. Yeah, no, I do feel okay, see, this is the thing, Bella. I feel like there's some things in your life that you also are aware of might not be the best for you or might not be helping you or kind of like slowing you down a little bit. I do feel that there's a little bit of like, that situation where you're like in something you're like, "Ugh, I just don't feel this is working out," or like, "Oh, I have to do this and that," but you feel like you wanna just push through and get through it. I feel like that's what's going on. So in that sense, I do feel like there's a little bit of, hemorrhaging, bleeding out, towards the path instead of just like, it's good and it's narrow, there's a little bit of spillage and things are kind of not going as smoothly as you can, but I feel like you know what those things are. Now, you may not specifically know what to do in this moment, but I can say that your intuition off of the things that aren't as positive and flowy or feel good, I think is bang on for you. I think you're feeling something intuitively, but I can't tell you whether they're wrong or right, but I can say I'm picking it up too. I'm picking up there's some things, and it's not like major, but it's just like a sense of like, I listen, I have a couple of things like that in my life where I'm doing something and I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna push through. And if I sit down and if I were to ask somebody this question, it was like, yeah, those things are slowing down. I'd be like, yeah, it is. Now it's a question of how to get rid of those things or move past those things or what to do. But I feel like there's a little bit of, and this is gonna sound like advice, but there's a little bit of there's something you can cut off There's some things you could say, "Yeah," but I do feel cutting off that thing will also give you a sense of like, "Oh my god, risk." Like, it would be like letting go of the safety rope. I think that's what it is. It's almost like the safety rope that you're holding on to is not, it's keeping you afloat, but it's just not getting you far. And if you cut it off, it's gonna be like, "Oh shit," excuse my language, it's gonna be like, I like, now I'm out here and now I have to do it. But I think you got it. I think you've got, when I read you, Bella, I feel like there's a strong sense of knowing what to do. Now, this is gonna sound funny. I feel like you're very good at that with other people. Like, you're good at not telling people what to do, but you're good at saying, "Oh, that person, you shouldn't have done that," or "That's what they should do." Like, you're very good, very, you see things very, um, forgive my word, well. Like, you see the outcomes, or you have good decisions, you have a good judgment, Bella. Maybe because your makeup is so good. Well, that's for sure. But you see things, but I think when it comes to yourself, there's a little bit of, and again, confidence, we're all working on that, but there's a little bit of, let me," almost like you would be, um very nurturing, very maternal. Like, "This is what you can do. I think this would be the best path for you. I think this, you should cut this off. You should do that." But then when it comes to yourself, I think you kind of put yourself a little bit in the back. Um, so she was saying, now I was asked, no, I was asking, was I on the right path, right page to post my question and what it was coming for me in the near future. Yes. Oh, she said on the right page, and I had to read it on the right path. Well, I just read deep into her life, all the things. You are on the right page. And then she clarified further. No, I was asking. Oh yeah, something for to be new future. So, although I read whether you're on the right path in the future, I do see that there's some things in your life that seems to be keeping you afloat, but holding you a little bit back. That is kind of, I think, a little bit energy draining. I find you a person who's very calculative and could make really good decisions about your life, and make good decisions about life, but I think there's a hesitancy when it comes to making them for yourself. I don't think it's out of fear or anything. I think it's just that you might tend to be a person who puts others or other things forth above yourself. Like, you're very good at, what's that word? Tolerance. Like, you can handle a rough spot. Life is rough. I can handle that. But if for other people, you could see, okay, this is how you could get better. And I think, maybe turn that away on yourself. Um, but yeah, so as for your future again, because I don't like these general readings. You see how, like, broad, but hey, honestly, if my interpretation makes sense to you and as broad as I can make it, it is, then that works. I guess it's a little bit of self-serving. I'm like, I want to give details. Why can't these people let me give them details of their life? Knowing we're on a public platform and people probably don't want that many details. And even when they ask for details, I'm still gonna, I don't know. Listen, I'm struggling too. I'm struggling too. She says, but you're right. Yeah. You're gonna get a lot of opportunities coming to you in life. A lot of opportunities. A lot of things like, oh my gosh, I just got that, or oh my gosh, I got that, or this person's offering me this, or this is that. A lot of opportunities are gonna come to you in life. But I think it's gonna be a lot about um your your ability to jump on certain opportunities, or ability to decipher which opportunity to leave behind or not. And the sense of, this is going to sound such like a cliche who word, this sense of suffering. I think you've suffered quite a lot in your life in many different ways, on many different levels. And you're just too good at it. You're too good at suffering, or the minimum, like, you know what I mean? You're just too good at it. It's time to say, "Oh no, dear. Like, I'm too, I'm fine China." I can't. I need. I think that's what's going on. But Bella, I think you get what I mean. And I mean, if we wanted to go deeper and more like literal, as if what I can literally see is that string holding you back, we can talk about that in a private. All right, you guys, I have been on here. It is 1:30. How much? We're at 2 hours and 30 minutes. Should we go for 3? Should we go for 3 hours? Should we go for 3 hours? I'm getting hungry. Soda stream, guys. Oh, you can't see it back there. All right. Will I speak my truth. Will JP respond back to my message? I feel like this is not the last time you hear from this individual. Whether it's a direct response back to your message may not be, but I don't feel this is the end of you guys. Like, no. Girl, no, God just carried me the whole way. Ooh, I just got the chills, Bella. Mm, Woo! Yeah. You're China now, Bella. You're China. Yeah. Well, me and my fiance get married and work it out. I see a lot of working it out. I do see an intent to work it out. I see some challenges on your fiance's end that makes it challenging for him to work it out. Um like honest to God, like this person, listen, I can't tell you what to do, but I see a person who like, and you know it because this is your fiance and this is the person that you want to work it out. Like, I understand the deserving nature that you feel that your fiance and you have for that. Like this, like I get the we deserve to try. I get that. Both parties. I get that. Um, will you work it out? I feel like some of the challenges might be too grand, but it won't feel, if you don't work it out, it's not gonna feel like, oh my gosh, like what, it's gonna be like, okay, I understand. I understand why this, and I have to make some choices. Um, yeah. Let me know if you understand that. I'm being very mindful about your life and how this is so public. Um, but I can probably try to explain it in a different way for you to understand. But let me know if you understand. To the answer the question, will your fiance get married and work it out? Um, yeah. You are welcome. I speak the truth. Of course, you can have a reading. So ask a more specific question, a more direct question, not just what is your future coming at. Oops, I just licked the mic. Oh, you guys, I'm getting hungry. Okay, so I am going to wrap up here soon. I will be back next week. This is the place to have the readings. Also, this live stream will also be, I'm going to upload it to Spotify videos, so you can actually listen back and watch it on Spotify. Also, if you listen on Spotify, you can also send voice note about your question that I'll answer in the next live stream. I know this is like I'm explaining a lot. I should type this out. This is what I need a better marketing manager for, but I am the marketing manager. So what am I going to do? Fire myself? Um so thank you guys for joining. I really love this. We'll be back here for another. If you're on YouTube's, likey and subscribe. Um, if you're on Facebook, likey and follow. If you're on Twitch, just know I'm coming for you, Twitch. And again, you could watch this back on Facebook or watch the replay or whatever. But if you just want to listen to it in your car, this audio will be on Spotify. Also, check out my hold on. Oh, wait, I'm not gonna be able to do it like that. Oh, yes, I can. Oh. If you guys wanted a private reading, because remember on here, I do have to be mindful about your life and your privacy. And I can't say, like, we can't really say names of individuals, or we can't talk about some details about individuals' personalities or things that they might be going through. Like when I say, oh, this person has some challenges, I refrain from stating what those challenges are in this live stream. But in private, we absolutely can. That's where it's for. We talk about what the challenges are, what they are doing, what they are, and more details than I can hear. So when you hit the website, this is where you're gonna come. You're gonna see me, and yeah, this is a quote. It's your future. Create it or change it. It's always a perfect day to hear what will happen before it happens, so you can take control of what you want to happen. I don't create it. I just help you see it so you can create it or change it, or you change it, you create it, and then come to me to tell me if I see that's what's happening. So then maybe I have to go back and do some work. Okay? I don't read your future. I don't tell you what you should or shouldn't do. Instead, I give you all the unknown insight about your concerns so you can feel more clear and empowered to make the choices best for you. So you would click here, or I mean, you could click here wherever you see new psychic life coaching reading, free readings, ray, la 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 la. But if you click I want a reading, it will take you to this page. Oh, that's weird. It takes you to this page. Oh, it takes you to the other page too. All right, so you could click the psychic life coaching 1 hour. This is in Canadian dollars, 112 Canadian dollars. If you were to select this, it gives you an hour of reading on any topics that you want. Or you can select this. I've had clients select this. This is usually for clients who've gotten many readings from me over a time. It just kind of makes it a little bit easier. You'll get 4 1-hour sessions weekly for a month. So every week you'll get a notification that says Monique is ready to meet with you, and we could talk about the week, what you've been through, and prepare for the next week that you're going through stuff. Also, you would get, this has 8 instant text messaging with responses in a month, but really this is going to give you a text link, and you can actually text me anytime. So this works where you can actually text me midnight, morning, whatever, anytime, as bunches, whatever, just fill it up, just talk. And I will guarantee you a response 8 times to that. Like, so you could ask me 50 million questions and I would read them and I would respond. And all those 50 million questions will be one response. So I will respond back 8 times within a month, and that's on a private texting situation that we set up, linked to moi, or you can always do the quick chat, and the quick chat is just a quick texting type of thing for 15 minutes. So again, the 1 hour live stream, I mean, private, oh, 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 I hit the Pinterest button. Do you ever do that? The Pinterest button gets in my way. So if you select that, you can click the times. So it's all self-booking. You don't have to like email me back and forth or DM me. You would click the time and then you would sign in. And the reason why you sign in, hold on, I think I could sign in. Let me see if it will let me sign. Oh yeah, okay. So here, and it will show you your booking. It will show you the time that you've selected. And then when you oh, you do have to enter that you must be 18 years of age. So let's do that. Let's do that as if we were, oh, can I do this? Oh, yeah. Gosh, I have to go so far. So embarrassing. Oh, still going. Oh, still haven't been born yet. Here I am. Okay. And I'm just making up a birthday because y'all don't need to know that business. All right. And then you confirm your booking. And see, this is the important part. We are secured through either PayPal or Stripe. There is absolutely no other method to pay for your reading other than these 2 options. PayPal handle it, Stripe handle it. So all your payments are secure. I don't get your payment details. I don't even get anything. I just get the payout at the end. So I don't even know what's going on with your credit card or anything that you pay. And make sure that anytime you pay for any psychic reading, whether it's mine or anybody else, that it's through a secure system. So you would pay through that, and then you're going to get a confirmation of a link. You don't need to download anything. I believe that if you do use a link on your phone, it might ask you to download something, but you still should be able to use the link without downloading something, and you get me, privately me, just me, just me, and you for a reading, not anybody else in the chat. And you don't have to use, because I know sometimes it's like I don't want to have to do my hair and my makeup to be on live, like on a private video call. You don't. You can turn off your camera. You can use just the chat app that we have on the live, or you could use your camera, you could turn off your mic, you could just use your voice, whatever. But me, you'll see my face, you'll hear my voice. I will be speaking to you like this. So you'll always know that this reader who's reading you is moi. It's me. And we'll yammer for about an hour. So again, that's how you can book a private reading. That details is in below. It's MoniqueEmpath.com. And it will take you to that website to do that. All right, let's go back here because it's wanting me to pay, and I'm not paying. Go back. Let's go back. All right, it's taking you to the main page. All right, so there, you can shop for some merch items if you want. We got some cute things. We got like the little my human signal, reading a book, meditating. We also got at the beach, because that's what we do. Always got your intuition up. Got some PJs. Oh my gosh, we got some PJs. We got like riding a bike. Let's go. Let's get her done. Ain't that cute? That's so cute. Okay, but anyways, also here, if you click free readings, oh my gosh, it's gonna. Oh, okay. If I press play, we're gonna see each other. It's gonna be like Inception. Here, if you click all right, so you could do there. I have to put the podcast on here, and also you can book a pre. Okay, so that's me. You guys know that that's how you can book a reading. I will never DM you a reading. I will never talk to you in the DMs. If you DM my page, I will respond if you're asking questions about technical stuff, how to book, or things like that. But we'll never give a reading in the DMs because you need to see my face. All right. So thank you. What else do I have to share with you guys that I feel like I'm supposed to share? Oh yeah, the podcast. Actually, the podcast is good because it does answer a lot of the questions. I talk about spirit guides. I talk about finding your soulmate. I talk about let's hit up the podcast for a second. Hold on, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I think I can do this. Hold on. I mean, oh, okay. So Spotify let me in. It let me in, guys. It let me in. I know how to get on the back end podcaster side of Spotify, but I didn't know how to do this. Okay, let's share the screen again. You guys can see what I'm listening to. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. What if I'm listening to something that I'm totally embarrassed about? You guys are totally gonna see it. Okay, here we go. Where? Oh, my library. I'm going in the. Okay, I get it. I get it. I know. We might do this. There we go. The Empathetic Life of Psychic Medium Monique Empath. This is the Spotify podcast. So this is the Blue Dog, my producer, and me. We did a thing about mom, and it's kind of funny. I think it's funny. I don't know. You guys might laugh. But here, this is our last live stream that will be playing here, and it's a video. And if you go down, I have topics like dreams and intuition. We talk about that. How vulnerable are your thoughts to a psychic? Are you really going to find your soulmate? What side of politics are psychics on? Is there any true logical sense between psychic gifts? I talk about the science of psychic gifts. So maybe listening to this, you'll realize, oh my gosh, I'm way more intuitive than I thought I was. Twin flames, we talk about those. How dangerous that concept can be, how problematic the twin flame is, and why psychic readers should not give advice. And also I talk about on situations on where they should give advice or where they can. All right, so you can check me on Spotify. How do we share this? How do I don't know how to, oh, wait, share, copy, link, show. Okay, this is something that the producer should do. Okay, hold on. Paste. There. Now I have the link on Spotify. All right, you guys, I'm just yammering. I'm so glad that you guys could come and hang out with me. Let me know if you guys want me to talk about certain things, but we will always do free live readings here. And I will see you in the next one. So thanks. Oh, hold on. Thanks for watching and